Here's my 2024 market update and outlook for the year. So I think we're going to start to see some rate cuts in 2024, probably towards the back end of summer, beginning of August, and they're probably going to be 25 basis points at a time. I think they'll probably collide with the local elections, which, as you know, it looks good on paper for the current government if rates start coming down. So we'll probably see it around beginning of August, maybe. That's my best guess. And we'll probably lose 1% by the end of the year if we're lucky. I don't think we'll ever get back to low interest rates. So if you are holding out for low interest rates, I wouldn't get your hopes up, because it was quite an abnormal thing for us to be obviously below 1% for all of this period of time prior to obviously the inflation spiking. What I would say is it's a great time if you're a seller, because what is going to happen is there is a lot of first-time buyers sitting on the market, and they're waiting essentially for their affordability to become better. Because at the moment, there's a lot of first-time buyers priced out of the market just because they can't meet the criteria for the affordability, and they don't want to be paying the high mortgage rates, essentially. So what's going to happen is that when the rates do come down, all of those people which have been sitting on the fence and waiting for rates to come down will then enter the market. And that means there's going to be more buyers and more bids and more offers, meaning that your property price is going to go up, I would imagine. So good news for sellers, bad news for buyers. If I was a buyer right now, what I would recommend you do is start looking at houses now and entering the market, because it's much better to pay a higher interest rate on your mortgage for a year or two than to start buying properties when the rates have came down and find you've got several more people to bid against, and you might have to pay 10 or 15 or 20,000 pounds potentially more over the asking price, compared to if you were just paying maybe £1,000 extra that year on your mortgage. And you can obviously then switch over to another 2-year mortgage when it finishes, or even exit early and pay an exit fee. So they're my market updates. Another thing I think which is quite interesting is that we've actually had data out which was published by EA and was sent over by Christopher Watkins, and he's just published that we've actually seen an increase in the rental stock by 8.9%, I believe it is, compared to last year. And as we all know, the rental market in the UK is absolutely dire. There's just not enough properties. The rental prices have been going up and up and up for the many years now. So I think this is a couple of reasons combined with this. I think it could be that data has included more HMOs. It could be that houses have had their titles split. So it could be landlords which were on an interest-only mortgage. They were essentially over-leveraged. So what they did is they converted their 4-bedroom house into 2 flats to make it more profitable and to cover their mortgage payments. And I also think that there's a lot more new builds popping up everywhere. No matter where you look, you're seeing more new build estates. They're eating into the green belts. So that could also be combined into us actually seeing more rental properties in the market. And hopefully this means that rental prices aren't going to keep going like this. They're going to plateau up and actually stick with the rate of inflation, instead of going stupid amounts like £100 increase every 12 months, which is crazy, because none of us can afford that. And it's not good for the whole property market as a whole when rental prices just keep going up, because it just means that everyone can't afford to buy a house, and it's just not good for anyone. It's not good for the buyers, and it's not good for the renters. So I think having more rental properties in the market is a good thing overall. So there's my market updates for 2024. I'll add a few more updates when I get them, and hopefully this information was helpful.